There we go. All right, it's 6 p.m. on a Thursday. Um, yeah, it's a rough day. Rough day for Dungeons and Dragons, that's for sure. I'm sure everybody's heard the story by now of the leaked OGL revisions and all the shady shit that's going down. Um, Very unfortunate. Sad to hear. Especially since I just got into doing third-party publishing, so that kind of sucks. It also kind of sucks because I just got into Pathfinder 2, so I guess I'm late to the party, times two. But we'll see. We don't know anything for sure until the actual document is made public, which is supposed to be Friday the 13th of this month. So, guess we'll find out then what happens. In the meantime, there's no sense in being upset and stressing out about something that don't have any control over. So, we're going to just prep our game, run our game, and enjoy our game. And it is what it is at this point. So, what else can I say? All right, so we left off with Nightfall in this barn. Anne was dead, and let's see. There's yeah, they've met the siblings. The siblings have taken them into their custody essentially to keep them safe from harm. Last time we played, which was 2 weeks ago, Anne died trying to save the rest of the party. That's the story we're telling, anyways. Sacrificed herself to try and, you know, you always talk good about dead people. Tried to save the rest of the party and succeeded, so the rest of the party escaped. Now I spoke with Dom and I said, "Hey, you've been having a run of bad luck. You're out of fate points. I know you were really looking forward to playing Anne in this campaign, and you didn't even get to really like do anything with her. There is another way for you to live. Uh, there is an entity that is interested in you and that is willing to help you for a price, uh, to be named later. And for now, they just say that they will give you the power to protect, to live and protect your brother." And they thought about it for over a week or so, and then they got back to me during the break, and they said, yeah, they're going to take the deal. So, up until today, I didn't know what that deal was going to be exactly, but I have a very good sense of what it should be now. I asked a bunch of people. Cadenex actually gave me a great suggestion for it based on the Dark Gifts document, or the Dark Powers revision that we did. So I'm going to open that document up. There we go. And basically, there is a giant in here, like an imprisoned giant. Great Tarhak, the five-headed destroyer. And so this dude just transforms you into a giant, basically. So here's the thing. We're going to go to up here at the top where we fleshed out Fekre, the Queen of Poxes. And we're going to go ahead. Yeah, so because it would be lame for Dom to come back as a vampire, like for Anne to come back as a vampire just because she got killed by a vampiric mist. You know what I'm saying? That's like too obvious. So we're going to go with this giant dude who sees she's a big lady, she's got strength, and then he's going to kind of make that deal. So a few things I need to look at. One, I want to have Anne's character sheet open. So here we go. And I'm basing the power structure around the transformations from Grim Hollow. So we're using the transformations from Grim Hollow for this. So what's going to happen is we're going to come up with some flavor text here, and then we're going to talk about the abilities that this guy grants. And because someone actually has the gift, we're going to go ahead and build the transformation around it, since this is the first dark gift that we've had in the campaign. Alright, so Great Tar Hawk, the five-headed destroyer. I decided that him giant, because, well, giants in mythology, the more powerful they are, the more heads they have. So, and that's something that they kept in Dungeons and Dragons as well. So we're gonna talk about what are great, and we added giants to the campaign setting, so it makes sense. So Fekra's goals are complex, blah blah blah. So this is Great Tarhak. All right. So Great Tarhak believes in might makes right, and that the large should rule over the small and devour them. Okay. Long ago, he led armies of like-minded giants against Annam, the Allfather, contesting his rule over giant kind. He lost the war, but was too powerful to kill. Instead, Annam banished, I don't know if I'm spelling that right, banished him. And as he walked away, the mist took him. Maybe. I don't know if I like that at all. Hold on. I'm also going to look up the spelling of Annam. Annam the Allfather. I'm probably not spelling it right. It's A-N-N-A-M. There we go. And Allfather, for whatever reason, has a hyphen in it. So let's try it again. A-N-N-A-M, the Allfather. There we go. Contesting his rule over giant kind. He lost the war, and Annam tore his body to pieces, casting it out into the ethereal seas to be lost and devoured, and never reassembled. Alright, Great Tarhak spirit lingered and searched for a new body, but none could live up to his standards. In time, his spirit was captured and bound by the monks and wizards of the Amber Temple. Let's see. Millennia of imprisonment has lowered his standards significantly. Great Tarhak seeks a new vessel and a means of escaping. Perfect. Alright. So, basically you start to transform into an actual giant. Size gain is based on level ups. Strength scales up, powerful build, large, huge. Transformation boon, etc., etc. So, we've got to open up our Grim Hollow shit. So, let's do that. Ba, ba, ba. All right. So I'll boot this up real quick. Anytime. It's a very big document, so I'm going to take a second to open up. There it goes. Alrighty. I'll move this over a little bit. And what we're using, I think the closest to what we need is probably just a werewolf, for the most part. I think Abomination is also pretty good. We could look at Abomination as well. Let me see if I can get Abomination to open up. That's in the player's guide. There we go. All right. Transformations. All right. So the transformations that are included in this one is the Aberrant Horror. So let's see. Additional boons and flaw. They're new transformation. Okay. Okay. And then there's Fiend, Lich, additional stuff for Lycanthropes, Seraph, Fae, and Primordial. And I think that's it. Nope, Spectre. Spectre's so fucking good. Alright. Spectre would have also been good for Anne, but I think Giant is even better. So let's go to this document, and we will go down to transformations. Here we go. So Aberrant Horror is one that seems really good. And basically, becoming an Aberrant Horror, blah, blah, blah. Prerequisites is you need a good Constitution score, right? So in this setting, I've added Hill Giants, and Hill Giants have a very good Constitution score. And it might be better to have a Constitution-based transformation rather than a Strength-based transformation, because inevitably somebody's going to want to become a werewolf, right? So it might be good to just, and it's easier to become a werewolf than to get this transformation. So we might want to build it around Constitution. You had an encounter with an aberration, magical anomaly, or some other plausible thing, blah, 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 blah. Some of your ability scores will change, blah, blah, blah. Level milestones, these are things that you could do, or your DM thinks that you could do, that would let you level up. Because you level this up separately from your character class and your character levels. So transformation at level 1, you gain the following things. Aberrant adaptations. Your body can twist and reshape itself as you will it, changing body parts into dangerous weapons or useful tools. Basic adaptations, you can choose these things. Chitinous shell, eldritch limbs, which is pretty gross. And then aberrant form. Your constitution score increases by 2, and your strength increases by 1, and ability score cannot be increased beyond 16 this way. Well, Anne already has a 16 strength, so won't benefit from that. But they have a 14 constitution, so they could benefit from this. So let's go ahead and do that. So transformation boon, Giantkin's form, and we will say that their constitution goes up by 2, strength goes up by 1, but it can't go higher than 16, so they won't benefit from that second part. Now, the other primary boon is going to be called Powerful, and you gain Powerful build like a Goliath. So you don't actually increase it to the next size category. You just get Powerful build or whatever the hell it is. Let's see. Or D&D Beyond, go grab Goliath. Can't believe I struggling to remember the name of this. Hold on. Mountainborn, Stone's Endurance, Little Giant. Little Giant, you have proficiency on athletic skill. You count as one size larger when determining your carrying capacity. Okay. Well, she already has proficiency on athletic skill, so we'll just say that, shit, they have powerful build. I guess that would be like Loxodon listed as a powerful build. Let me see. There we go. Powerful build. You count as one size larger when determining the weight and carrying capacity you can push, drag, or lift. So that sounds kind of cool. So not only does she get to live, but she gets 2 constitution out of it, and she gets a powerful build. Additionally, cosmetically, she is going to increase in size 5 to 10%. So she's going to go from like 6 feet up to 7 feet and change, which is also going to pack on more muscle as well. So it says physically increase your bulk by 5 to 10% permanently is the other thing that we've got. All right, and now there's always a flaw. So the flaw for this one right here, aberration or whatever, is unstable mutations. Your body becomes malleable and struggles to maintain one physical shape. Upon completing a rest, you must roll a d100 on the unstable form table. We don't really need that to be the situation, though they will eventually be growing a second head. Don't tell Anne, but they are going to grow a second head. So, sorry, Dom. So let's go down here to the werewolf, because the werewolf has a really good flaw for a giant. The werewolf likes to kill people. So down here in Lycanthrope, which is like page 58 or whatever, if you look at the flaw, transformation flaw, it is lust for the hunt. The savage nature of your curse sometimes causes you to lose control. These ferocious tendencies are a constant struggle between you as a humanoid and the beast within. When you are in your hybrid form, you must succeed on a DC 10 Wisdom saving throw at the beginning of each turn or lose control. If you are in the light of a full moon, you automatically fail the saving throw. If you fail the saving throw, you're subjected to the following until you succeed. You must move towards the closest non-player character you can see, smell, or hear, prioritizing helpless creatures. If you end your movement and no non-player character is within 5 feet of you, you must use your action to dash towards one. Now, it specifies non-player character because they really don't want to force a bunch of PvP, which is pretty good, I guess. If you make a melee attack against a creature and that creature is still alive, then you must use your bonus action to make an unarmed claw or bite against the same creature. Additionally, if you're subjected to the light of a full moon, you must succeed a DC 20 Wisdom saving throw or automatically turn back into your hybrid form and cannot change back until dawn. So it's pretty bad. And then it describes what is the helpless creature. The defenseless and downtrodden are met with a modicum of sympathy by most. However, to the bestial side of the lycanthrope, these creatures represent prey. This transformation refers to helpless creatures in multiple instances. For game purposes, a helpless creature is a humanoid that is unconscious, restrained, blinded, paralyzed, or frightened. Additionally, creatures that are so vulnerable in their current situation they are completely defenseless are also considered helpless. For example, a disarmed and defeated enemy pleading for mercy. In these instances, the DM decides if the creature is considered helpless or not. So what we're going to do is give them the transformation flaw, bully the weak. Physical weakness disgust you. If you encounter any creature, or, well, I guess it's any creature. I guess it would be humanoid. They wouldn't really be disgusted by like a chicken, because like a chicken isn't a person. So we're going to put any humanoid or giant with a strength score lower than 10. That doesn't seem that bad. Who's going to have a strength score lower than 10? We'll put any humanoid with a strength score lower than 10. Or any giant with a strength score lower than 16. You must make a will check or beat that creature into submission. If the creature submits to your superior strength, you may spare it. If it ever challenges your authority, you must make a new will check to avoid beating it back into submission. You cannot be ordered about by the weak. Okay. Let's see. We'll move this. You cannot be up here. Alright. If you encounter any humanoid with a strength score lower than 10, or any giant with a strength score lower than 16, you must make a will check. DC set by the GM. Or beat that creature into submission. If the creature submits to your superior strength, you may spare it as long as it serves you well. If it ever challenges your authority, you must make a new will check at disadvantage. There we go. To avoid beating it back into submission. So this wouldn't seem that bad in a normal D&D game, because who the hell's not going to have a 10 strength? Even a commoner's got a 10 strength, right? But in this game, that is going to be a problem, because we did a communist array where everybody rolled for stats, and there are a lot of people in the party with low strength. So Anne's going to have a problem with this. There's a lot of NPCs with low strength, like Daniel, he got an 8 strength. Wayne got a fucking 6. Leo got an 8. Jason, he's fine. Chris got a 10. I guess he'll be okay. Irinia got a 12. She's all right. So there are going to be some issues here. Henry, he's fine. Now, as she gets higher in level and she ranks this up, the threshold for what she considers weak will go up. So that's like tier 1. It's right here. Okay. Now, if we go further in, you can see that there's more and more to deal with. So let me pull back up the book real quick. All right. Let's go to... I feel like the werewolf, honestly, is probably going to cover... because it's more like about strength and stuff like that. Let's see. All right. Transformation level 2. Iron Pelt. While in hybrid form, you have resistance to bludgeoning, blah, blah, blah. Hunter's Howl. You make people... you mark people and you scare people and all that. Kindred form... Kindred form bear, kindred form wolf, but then they get transformation flaw, silver sensitivity. Okay, so in tier 2, what we're probably looking at, let's see, in tier 2, they get to pick one transformation boon. They don't really get to pick because this is a dark gift, but if we felt like it, they would get to pick. But essentially the transformation boon would be you increase to large size, your strength and con increase by 1. This cannot raise those scores above 18, period. But then the transformation flaw for this level would be let's see. Do we make the bully the weak like even more so? Probably. Low tolerance for weakness. So at this level, you get this low tolerance for weakness, and essentially the standard for strength goes up to, we'll say 14 for humanoids, and 18 for giants. There we go. The will check DCs also increase um, significantly based on how low the strength score is. All right. Keeping it pretty simple. Then we go into tier 3. So tier 3, this might be where we offer 2 different transformations, or transformation boons, where they can pick one. Let's see. But essentially, I want to save getting huge for tier 4. So let's see. Tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. And in tier 4, the transformation boon will be huge. And then that'll be another strength increase, another constitution increase. And we'll say that it can't go above 20 at that point. All right. And then let's see, because being large is already pretty strong, but being huge is absolutely amazing. Except how small all the maps are in this campaign. I guess it's not good at all, but see how it goes. So the flaw here at tier 3 will be second head. And then the flaw for tier 4 will be 3 heads. You would think that getting an extra head would be good, but it's not, because it's absolutely disgusting and horrible. So what kind of stuff is the second head going to do? It's going to lower int and wisdom and charisma. But you gain, and then we'll just grab the ability from the Etten. Let's see. I always forget that my Curse of Strahd Nightfall game just doesn't have a functional compendium, and I still haven't figured out why. All my other games do, and this one does not. It's very weird to me. So, like, if I go to the test world and I looked up Etten, it shouldn't be a problem. Oh, okay. Is it just not loading up? What's the deal, guys? Maybe it's just not loading up. Oh, there's an Etten right there. Weird. Okay, so with 2 heads, you have advantage on wisdom perception checks and saving throws, blah, 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 and then you get wakeful. So I don't think we'll get wakeful until 3 heads, honestly. Let's see. So we'll go here, and we'll save being actually able to use them well for higher level, multi-headed. There we go. Okay. And then, let's see, you've already reached large size. So what could you do in transformation boons that would be kind of cool? Like, extended reach might be pretty cool. And then maybe something related to grappling would be kind of cool. Like, expert grappler. So both of those are pretty good options. Then we could kind of explore those closer to the thing. But that's basically how I would build it out for each of the ones that comes up. And I did that when I made the Were-Raven transformation, because I already made the Were-Raven, and I'm pretty sure I already shared this onto my Discord server. But essentially, the Grim Hollow Were-Raven transformation, it's 7 pages, and it covers everything. It's fully expanded and fleshed out with lots of options and all sorts of good stuff here that kind of tries to settle the difficulties of introducing flight into a low magic game. Because I feel like Were-Raven is a really big possibility that the players would try to become a Were-Raven. So I wanted to make sure I had that one covered. The Dark Gifts, who knows for sure if they're going to take those Dark Gifts or not, but this for sure. So now we have that sort of sorted out for Anne, which is good. We'll have to let Dom know, like this is what is happening. We're not going to say who is causing it. We're not going to say anything else about it. But we're going to say this is your new flaw, and these are your new abilities, and they're just going to leave it at that. So I don't know. Pretty excited for it. Um, I think random encounter wise, we're still fine. Plenty of things for them to do inside the village of Barovia. I feel like tonight is going to be a lot of the same that we were dealing with last week. So them going to the tavern, them getting settled at the tavern, like all that stuff. It basically needs to go down. Them finding out about the dream pastries and the village, and they're going to go meet the priest at the church, and they're going to do all of those things. They'll meet the burgomaster, and so on and so forth. So I feel like we pretty much have all that settled. I don't have a good like house map for like the interior of the burgomaster's house. Like I'm just using this, and we're just gonna have like a role play scene. But I guess if I needed an interior of their house, I would be, kind of up shit creek unless I go and grab something out of Valakai. So, yeah. Um, we went ahead and did all of their readings and then put their readings into actors that had all that stored. So that's settled. And when I ran the reading for my classic group, is when I discovered that there's actually some really amazing maps set up specifically for the Serpools camp, including the interior of her tent that has this table. Look at this table. This is incredible. So you could just like lay the cards down on this table. It's got the crystal ball. It's got everything. It's so cool. And then there's like a scene of like the interior. Look at that. That's so cool. And then there's another scene from a different angle. And then there's also this animated scene when you first go into her tent or her wagon or whatever. I guess it's just a tent. I don't know. But you go in and look, the cards, they're like levitating around and stuff. There's music playing. Oh, it's very cool. Very, very cool. And I didn't discover this until after I did the reading for my in-person group. How are you going to conflict and control the second and third head, having two mind of the same situation? Oh, are you going to conflict? Yeah, what we'll do, that's a great point. I should write that down as like a note to myself. We're going to treat second head as an intelligent magical item. So basically, it's going to have its own goals and its own things that it wants to do that are going to be a lot more evil and a lot more primal than what Anne would want to do. Yeah. So, anyways, but look at that. Isn't that amazing? I gotta go through all of these maps and make sure that I'm not missing out on anything because that's freaking awesome. And I almost missed out on it completely. So, most of these, like, they have like cool like scenes. Like this looks like something straight out of Skyrim. Um, and it doesn't look like there's any animated scenes that I've missed out on thus far, which is good. So I just gotta keep my eyes open for all of these things. So yeah. But look, they got like, why would you even go? Why would you even go into Mad Mary's house? Like what? What is the whole? There's two different shots of Mad Mary's house. It's crazy. Um, I don't know. Anyways, I don't anticipate them doing too much tonight that we wouldn't already be prepared for. And I know that oh, right. We made giants last time we prepped, and I didn't actually make the tokens for those giants, so I could go grab those real quick. Um, let's see. Let's go ahead and open this up. Ugh. Ugh. But I do love the idea of adding the giants into the game, and so we will want to add them to our random encounter tables and such. Okay, cool. I don't want to run any updates right now. Let's see. Been doing a lot of work on adventure making, so let's. I don't want to think about that too much. Heartbreaking. Here we go. And we'll go to tokens. And we'll go to our Curse of Strahd tokens. Yes, thank you. And then we're going to go ahead and set up our tokens for the new year. I don't know. I'll just save it out as January. Here we go. I don't feel like there's enough that I need to delete stuff that's already there. Alright, so we need boy and girl giants. So we got a few to choose from here. So grab this. Go in here. And I think that guy looks pretty good as a giant. So we'll grab him. And we'll do Curse of Strahd, giant, dude, and we'll do 001. Alright, and then let's see. That works pretty good. Oh, it doesn't do good because it doesn't fill up the whole frame. There we go. Okay, so Curse of Strahd, giant, dude, number 2. And let's see. This is pretty spooky looking one right there. Do Curse of Strahd. I really want the giants to be like worse than the berserkers. Like you see these guys and you know that they're like big versions of what you were already afraid of, and now it's like even worse. So we'll go ahead and put that in there. I don't know how many giants they're really going to run into that we need this much variety with the giants, but it's whatevs. We'll do like 4. That seems good. Okay, so we'll do giant, dude, and then we'll do 4 ladies if we can manage it. So let's see. Copy this. It was very hard for the robot to make lady giants without just making orcs. Okay. And go. I think all of those just look like the giant that we already are using. So let's grab these. There we go. Oh, that one's good. All right, got that. And we'll do 2. And then, yeah, looks great. There we go. And then finally, I kind of like this one up here. She looks really, really scary and kind of inbred a little bit, which I think works great for dwindling giant tribe. All right. So there we go. We got 8 different giants. So let's go back to our test world. There we go. And do we have giants in here? No, but we did put giants into our compendium, so we should be able to pull those giants out. So let's see. Curse of Strahd giant. Hey, that's a Curse of Strahd ghast. Where's my Curse of Strahd giant? Alright, hold on. Could have sworn I moved these over to the thing. Alright. I guess we'll just fix it in here. So we're gonna do COS Hill Giant. And then we're going to go to the Curse of Strahd folder this time. And then we'll go to Actors, and there is no folder for Giants, so we'll make one. There we go. And let's see. We'll go in here, we'll make one that's BB Hill. And then we'll load this up. So let's see. Got to do this 8 times. Okay, then we go here. And finally, like so. Alright, great. And we'll make that our default giant. We'll go to the prototype. And he's got blood turned on already. Paste that in. Set that to be a shifting token. And I think we are good to go. Alright, so I guess I'll just export them and then import them to my other games, but I could have sworn that I had added it to the actors directory. Yeah, it's the Hill Giants right there, but that's fine. Because we have it set up properly now. So let's go here and throw it into Curse of Strahd. There we go. And I guess I would just put them inside monsters, because I don't really have a giants folder. Yeah, that works. Okay, so we should be able to pull those out for everybody else. Let's look at our random encounter tables then, because we want to add our giants into all our random encounter tables. We got roads, we got river, and we got woods. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to go down here to the bottom, and I guess I'll just add, there we go, a giant, and I'll recalibrate. And now there is a chance of running into the giant down by the lake. And then it's just a very low chance of running into the giant. And then we'll go ahead and add for the road and the woods. So we'll go ahead and add a giant there. Recalibrate. And update. And then for the woods, it'll be a little bit higher. So we'll go down here, and we'll say that it could happen on a 97 through 100. So 3% chance of running into a giant in the woods. There we go. And then for the mountains, we have to go grab those. So hold on. Curse of Strahd random encounters. Because I haven't actually imported these yet. So let's go over to the mountains thing. And then we're going to say 67. Okay, and we'll go ahead and put 1d4 plus 2 giants if you go up into the mountains, because that's where they live. So you really don't want to go up into the mountains. And then for wetlands, we will just put giant. Okay. That seems like it covers everything pretty well. I guess we can go ahead and build these tables while we're thinking about it. So I will grab the wetlands stuff right here. And I guess we'll go into test world and we'll build it here first. So random encounters. We want to do an easy table, so we'll do table paste. And we'll call this marshlands. Paste it in, generate. Okay, bring that up here. And looks good. There we go. All right. And then we'll go back to here. We'll go and grab our mountains table. And we'll drag it up. Go back to our test world. And again, we use table paste. We'll change it to mountains. Paste it in. And generate. And usually we've been using the test world anyways to generate random encounters, so I'm not too concerned about moving this over to the other games just yet. So let's take a look at it, because those numbers were pretty exact. We can actually go in here and tweak the weight here of these encounters to make them more likely to show up as well. So, for example, in the mountains, if we wanted giants to show up more frequently, we could just make the weight like a 4. If we really wanted to increase their chances of running into the legendary goat, we could raise it up to a 2. So they say twice the normal amount that they'd run into it. We got a blizzard here. That's kind of cool. Frost maidens. I like that. So we'll raise that by 2. And we've got Ygra the Abominable. I want that to be more likely, so we'll raise that a little bit. I really want the mountain to be like a dangerous ass place to go. So definitely going to look for opportunities to kind of raise that up a little bit. Let's see. What else could be up in there? A Nosferatu. Sure. We'll make that a 2 as well. And Death from Above. The Rock. The other thing about the Rock is, like, where does the Rock hunt? And why doesn't the Rock show up on other encounter tables? Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously the Rock eats the giants, and that's how he survives. But, like, I feel like the Rock would still be hunting other areas, right? Maybe? I don't know. And then we also talked about having a Dracolich guarding the path to the Amber Temple, but I don't feel like the Dracolich needs to be a random encounter, because that would be just too terrifying, maybe. But I like the idea of adding the Rock as an encounter in everywhere else, but you don't actually fight the Rock in those other locations. You just see that it's kind of flying around. And maybe it's more frequent on the lake because it is hunting the lake. Do you know what I'm saying? To try and get some food. So let's go ahead and add the Rock there, and we'll increase the odds of running into the Rock just a little bit. There we go. Cool. Okay. Wow, we don't want it too high. Jesus Christ. Alright, yeah. Cool. And then, let's see. Would you be able to see the Rock from anywhere else? Probably not. I'm gonna say that that's probably enough. The mountains. And maybe the marshland, though, because it's a pretty wild place. So maybe it goes there to grab, like, giant lizards and stuff like that. So we'll go ahead and add the Rock to those locations as well. But the player characters, for the most part, will be too small for it to go after. Would a Rock hunt a dragon? Probably. Probably would. I don't think we're gonna have a dragon though, because I'm dropping the vampiric dragon in favor of the Dracolich. So I don't think I wanted to keep both. There's too many big alpha predators to sustain themselves. There's just not enough meat in Barovia for all these predators. So we have to start changing a lot of them to be undead, or it's just not going to make any sense, you know. Let's see. Go ahead and recalibrate that and update. Cool. All right. And we updated these results as well. Mountains are a real dangerous place. Got that taken care of. All right, sweet. So, what else do we need to work on? Let's see. Oh, hold on. One of the streamers needs something for upcoming game. Let me send that over to him real quick. Let's see. Scroll back, scroll back. Nope, too far back. Where the hell is this guy? Red Hanadoom, Radriara. There we go. Okay. Okay, so let's see. I think we're pretty good. I don't want to jump into too much else today, but I also want to get more prep done. Why don't we take a look at the Dragnacarta guide? Okay. So we're going to go to Reddit, and we're going to look at the thread on Reddit and see what it's got for us. Alright, welcome to Strahd Reloaded, compilation, blah blah blah. Village of Barovia, Sarapool Encampment, bonus quests. Well, I didn't spring any of these on my other group, the Sarapool bonus quest, because they had already expressed that they were feeling a bit overwhelmed with the amount of quests that they had available. So I just kind of let it go at that point. I think the only side quest here is the picking up a present quest or whatever, so that's not really a big deal. Also, if you need the link to this, here it is. All right, let's see what we got. Old Bone Grinder. I feel like they would probably go to Valakai before Old Bone Grinder, but I am curious what advice they have for Old Bone Grinder. So let's check it out. Old Bone Grinder is perhaps the grimmest section of the Curse of Strahd setting. Delving into the darkest aspects of Brothers Grimm style horror, it deals with human trafficking, child abuse, murder, and drug addiction. Before you begin your campaign, it is highly advised that you confirm that all players are comfortable with the darker topics that Old Bone Grinder and similar areas of Barovia are likely to touch upon. Worth 1,000 words. Old Bone Grinder's exterior. Well, we have plenty of beautiful stuff for Old Bone Grinder. I don't think that's going to be an issue. Let's go over to our test world, and we will bring up our compendium. Let's see. Our scene compendium, and I believe we want this one. This one should have the Curse of Strahd stuff. Maybe? I believe? Hoping? Praying? Are they there? Let's see. Curse of Strahd. Here they are, down here at the bottom. Okay. So we will take Old Bone Grinder and import the entire folder structure. Alright. Perfect. Oh, it's still coming in. Still going. Damn. Okay, you still loading? Yeah, okay. I guess take your time. All right, we're done. So let's take a look at what we got in the old Bone Grinder folder. Alrighty. Lovely establishing shot. Definitely looks like a place where you would just go to buy some pastries. Has a bakery vibe to it. Definitely doesn't look spooky or scary in any way. We got the stones off in the distance. That's cool. Let's see. That's the overview. This is the road leading up to it. And again, if you think these maps are cool, this is from Benios Maps on Patreon. Fully animated maps for the entire campaign. So we got this road leading up to the establishment. Very cool. We got a bone grinder approach. Now, I have been warned against leaving it named Bone Grinder. I was warned against leaving it named Bone Grinder because people would immediately think that it's a bad place. But it's Barovia. I'm pretty sure they think everything is a bad place. I don't know who would be like, maybe this one, maybe this time, this will be a good place. So we might just leave it Bone Grinder, honestly. It definitely hints at what is happening, and I'm lazy. I don't want to rename all these files, so we'll just keep it Old Bone Grinder. I don't give a shit. Now, apparently, it's very popular to burn this place down, because Benios actually made maps so that you could burn it down. And from what I have heard, this place gets burned down in most campaigns. In most campaigns, they burn this place to the ground. And good on them for burning it to the ground, because it's a pretty fucked up storyline. Alright, then we've got the Bone Grinder Megalith. And I am treating all the megaliths as sanctuaries. So these are outdoor sanctuaries where if you need to take a long rest out in the wild, you can. Well, yeah, I mean, it's, and there's witches, and you know. But I just thought it was cute that, of all the maps that he needed to make, oh, thank you. Of all the maps that he needed to make, he decided to go ahead and say, you know what, we definitely need this motherfucking place on fire, for sure. So I thought that was really cool. And then you got the ravens going around, like, kind of mocking the place that's on fire. I like that quite a bit. All right, so I'm treating all the megaliths as sanctuaries. So these are places where you can gain an actual long rest, not just a short rest camp. And you could level up there if you needed to, because you got to take a long rest in a sanctuary to get level up. They would not serve as a sustained sanctuary. So basically, you might be able to use it for like a day or two, but you wouldn't be able to do like downtime at a megalith. And then, of course, each of these megaliths has a secret shrine underneath if you are playing with the Thanes DLC. I don't know if I'm going to play with the Thanes DLC or not. I'm undecided yet. I do like the idea that each of the megaliths, you have to bring one of the 3 stones from the winery here, and then that will break the blessing that Strahd is getting from that particular Thane. So I do like the idea of the Thanes. I think it's kind of cool. I like the whole, like, I am the land kind of thing. I think that's pretty dope. And that's a really cool mechanic for encouraging the players to go all over the place and not skip any content. So, might as well. All right, so then we've got the Bone Grinder Shrine. So this is what's hidden underneath. And I think in the DLC, I haven't read it yet, but I think in the DLC, in each of these shrines is like a guardian or some shit that you have to deal with. So that's kind of cool. So here's a close-up scene of the megalith with the windmill off in the distance. And then here's what the shrine looks like when you go down inside. Looks pretty cool. Kind of into it. Got a little rope hanging down that you climb down to get to it. So then we've got the actual mill. And this is the battle map for the first floor. Fantastic. Small, cramped, spooky. And then we have the second floor. I third floor and fourth floor all mapped out, which looks fantastic. And then, of course, the scene of those higher floors with the cute little pigs outside. It's fantastic. All right, so what is the advice that they got for us besides all of that? We got suggested music here and a soundboard. Morgantha's Coven. The most important thing to remember about Morgantha and her daughters, Bella and Ophalia, is that they are saleswomen first, corruptors second, and monsters last. If presented incorrectly, this encounter can lead to an unfair TPK for a low-leveled party. The purpose of this area is not to present an immediate combat scenario. Instead, your goal should be either to present a sympathetic group of NPCs whose ethically questionable sales practices lead to the discovery of a greater evil later on. Shock your players with a thinly concealed monstrous den whose inhabitants intimidate or weakly imprison the PCs, setting up a long-term enemy that can be conquered later. Create an opportunity for your PCs to give in to the corruption of Barovia, either by incriminating themselves through association or inaction, or by cutting dark deals with the Coven. In terms of lore, my opinion on the Fanes is kind of like, if you want to focus on Strahd and have the Greater Plains of Dread content be less important, go for it. Feels weird for him to have used the Fanes to bond with the land when he is, by definition, the land as a Dark Lord. That is a good point, and per the novels at least, the dude just was hella strong, and like the land reacted to that and reacted to his strength, and then the Dark Powers reacted to his strength. So yeah, I could kind of see that argument. I do just like the idea that maybe there are places of power, and that I don't know. I'd like to get the players to go to a lot of the different places in the world. I have heard about Curse of Strahd games where like so much of the content gets skipped because it's a sandbox. I guess it shouldn't hurt my feelings too bad because I didn't prep any of these maps. So if they don't go to the maps, then I mean, hey, I don't have to run that content. So I don't know. It's a good argument for and against using it. So let's see. As per their entry in the Monster Manual, night hags find the souls of evildoers to be the greatest delicacy. Morgantha knows that strangers in Strahd's domain are prime targets for temptation and corruption. She may promise an ambitious young wizard power obtained by sacrificing one of the children upstairs. She may even promise to set both children free if only the paladin leaves his squire behind. An encounter with Morgantha and her daughters will come to blows only if the Coven feels genuinely offended or threatened by the PCs, and even then, only if all members of the Coven are present. In combat, the Hag's primary aims are to 1. Incapacitate, 2. Intimidate, and 3. Cripple their enemies in that order. If only 1 or 2 hostile PCs are present, or if the Hags believe the PCs to be low-leveled, they will use Polymorph to turn someone into a toad as intimidation tactic. If that fails, they will attempt to target that PC with Eyebite's unconscious condition. The goal, render that PC harmless and toss them into a cage with a cackle. Whenever possible, the Hags will cast Bestow Curse using a level 5 spell slot and Hold Person using a level 4 spell slot. If facing a magic user, all 3 will attempt to preserve their level 3 spell slots for counter spells as necessary. See the table below for a list of all spells. I love that they actually help people run these encounters, because there's a lot of people that this might be the first campaign they've ever run. What an amazing guide to kind of not only tell you good ideas for fixing the campaign and making it cooler, but just helping you run it in general. I heard this is the second most notorious after Death House, but yeah, like, this is definitely something that if you are running this campaign, you need to read a guide about this area or you will kill all of your players. Because the seeds for this area are laid out very early in the game. And so the players may decide to go here very early in the game. Yeah, exactly. This is the young Cerberus of the Mithril Forge of this particular campaign. The PCs can learn more about hags in Valakai, Rectavia, Esmeralda, Erwin Mardukov, or a book in Baron Volakovich's library can give the party information on the history and interests of night hags should the Coven reveal their true forms or hint at their true nature. their damage resistance, their haunting ability, and the Hearthstone and Soul a bag. An intelligence arcana check can allow any PC to attempt to recall information about night hags. This information gains the following based on DC that you roll. That's pretty good. The PCs also learn more about the hags in Valakai. Rudolf van Richten knows all the information above because he's just the best. While Esmeralda knows all the information up to 25 because she's the second best. A book at Baron Valakovich's library can be found that contains all the information up to 20, while Erwin Mardakov knows up to 15. A hag's bargain. If the PCs come to the hags seeking information or otherwise seek a deal to free children or themselves from imprisonment, the hags are happy to offer it at a price. The hags are deal makers and are happy to trade away things of value at an accompanying price. A hag does not volunteer the description of mechanical impact of any deal, only its name. See the table below for some examples, and I thought these were very clever. They might ask for your final breath. Has a medium value. A PC that attempts this deal or accepts this deal now has 2 failed death saves instead of 3. Holy shit. Your victories is a high value. A PC accepts this deal can no longer take the final blow on a weakened enemy, even if their attack hits. The enemy is able to miraculously avoid taking any damage. Your luck, 3 times a day. The DM can impose disadvantage on a roll made by a PC that attempts to steal. Wah, wah. That's not very cool. Your memory. A PC that accepts this deal has disadvantage on any knowledge checks. Your body. A PC that accepts this deal must provide the hags with a vial of blood or a lock of hair. I'll tell you what, if a hag asked me for my body, I would assume that we were going to be having hag sex. So I guess I would be like, whew, you just wanted some blood? Okay. The old bowl grinder. I made a GG version of those ladies who function as a paragon monster who shares bloops. They had a whole thing where they could lure people into the oven and it would cook them. Oh, that's pretty cool. What I did here was have the hags have something that a party member really needed and have Morgantha offer to them in exchange for merely selling some pies in Valakai. Sounds innocent, but it got them an opening into a town they had previously been kept out of. Alright, let's see. Obviously, when you run a hag coven, they have a shared paragon economy. Come on. Courage. A PC that accepts this deal gains disadvantage on saving throws against any fear-related effects. Your hope. A PC that accepts this deal gains a flaw. The world is a dark and terrible place, and no man's fight can ever push back the darkness. How is that a medium value? Man, whatever. Your swiftness. A PC that accepts this gains disadvantage on initiative rolls. Wah, wah. Your voice. A PC accepts this deal becomes mute and cannot cast spells. Well, that's no fun for the player to not be able to talk anymore. Your tongue. A PC that accepts this deal gains disadvantage on all social charisma-based checks. Your breath. A PC that accepts this deal heals only half hit points from hit dice and magical healing and regains only 1/4 of their total hit dice upon completion of a long rest. Good God. And your heart. A PC that accepts this gains the flaw, the suffering of others does little to stir me. The hags store their gains from these deals in small glass vials stored in their children's cages on the 3rd floor. Any ephemeral profits, luck, are stored as brightly colored essences that slosh, bubble, and swirl in the glass like liquid or gas. If one of them is shattered, the essence escapes back to its owner, and the deal is broken. That's pretty cool. Ownership of the mill. If the PCs find the deed to the windmill in Death House, they may infer that they now own, or are the owners of the property. However, if confronted with the deed, the hags are able to provide paperwork sealed and signed by Strahd that legitimizes their business practices and the storage of Barovian children used therein. Fantastic. Dream pastries. To create their magic power, dream pastries must be baked from the flesh of children with souls. Of course. When the hags first bring the children to the windmill, they prick the child's finger with a needle. If the child howls in pain, the hags take this as evidence that the child has a soul and harvest the victim to cook the pastry filling. If the child suffers the pain silently, the hags view the child as soulless and use their bones to make the flour. When the PC eats their first dream pastry, they feel a bit drowsy and pleasant. When they next take a long rest, that PC has wonderful, happy, vivid dreams. Any PC sleeping under the influence of a dream pastry sleeps a full 8 hours, cannot be woken. When the PC awakens the next morning, they feel hollow and somewhat depressed. Each day a PC awakes after sleeping under the influence of a dream pastry, they must make a Constitution save DC 10 or consume an additional pastry. If they fail the saving throw and there's no pastry, they feel a strong craving for more and have disadvantage on all skill checks until they consume another pastry. An addicted PC that's unable to consume dream pastries has terrible nightmares when they attempt to sleep and cannot gain the benefits of a long rest. Oh my. The DC of this Constitution save increases by 2 for whose players actually wow, who hooked up with it? Oh, Cadenex probably did. Why am I even asking? Alright. So, each day, the players... Whose characters are actually eating these fucking pies? I've had 2 groups go to these pies. Nobody eats these pies, right? Like, are there people that actually eat these pies? I can't believe that. How do you get over it? Let's see. The DC also increases to a maximum of 26. Oh my god. The DC also decreases by 2 for each day that the PC goes without consuming any dream pastries, down to a minimum of 4. The only exception is the day after the... Oh, wow. Okay, the only exception is the day after the PC consumes the first pastry at noon. The PC may roll an additional DC 4 Constitution saving throw on any day. If the PC succeeds with a DC for the saving throws 4, the PC no longer is addicted to dream pastries. Oh, that's nice. Okay. So you got to be really unlucky. Wow. Okay. Let's see. The first day, if the PC goes 7 consecutive in-game days without eating dream pastries, they're no longer addicted. This happens regardless of their saves. It immediately alleviates any and all disadvantages they might have had. Should a former addict ever eat a dream pastry again, their starting Constitution save will be 15 instead of 10. Oh ho! Approaching the windmill. As the VCs approach the windmill, they notice an abundance of rodents, snakes, and spiders in the grass nearby. Characters that stray into the tall grass are attacked by a poisonous snake or a swarm of spiders. Beasts with intelligence of 2 or lower are aggressive due to their proximity to the corrupted fane marked nearby. I'm not going to have a corrupted fane nearby. At the intersection where the windmills meet the road, the PCs can find a small twig figurine discarded on the ground. It was left here by Ophalia, who enjoys crafting them and has a small collection in the attic. A soft curling steam of smoke from a crooked pipe chimney gives the windmill a homely, comfortable appearance. The smoke comes from the oven on the first floor. Worth 1,000 words. There's a picture inside. PCs arrive at Old Bone Grinder. Morgantha is away, returning from a successful business venture in Valakai. Bella instead greets the PCs at the door, cheerfully inviting them inside if asked, or if Bella refuses to lead the PCs to the second floor or above and informs them that her sister is working up there and she hates to be disturbed. Should the PCs attack Bella, she and Ophalia vanish into the ethereal plane. Morgantha returns home shortly after. Okay. So they just gotta act quick. Sure. Just behind the door, the hags keep a small umbrella stand that contains an ugly green parasol with rotted fabric and rusted longsword. If asked about the sword, Bella claimed it belonged to an old lover of hers who left it to her as a memento. In truth, it belonged to a former adventuring party that stormed the hag's windmill, where they were swiftly and brutally destroyed. Bella herself fondly remembers using the swordsman's bones as toothpicks after consuming him and his friends. The acrid smell coming from the barrel of demonic ichor isn't potent. Rather than mixing with the smell of the pastries, the ichor scent is only detectable if the PCs place themselves directly beside the barrel. The windmill isn't filthy. It's certainly not clean. However, it has a musty, lived-in air about it. There are no bones littering the floor. I don't know. Let me see. Are there bones littering the floor? Let's go to the battle map. Let's see. First floor. No, it looks nice in there. It looks nice. Okay. Conversations with Bella. There isn't much room inside the windmill's first floor for everyone to be comfortable, but Bella makes a show trying to be hospitable. There is a single unused chair in the corner piled high with Ophalia's twig dolls that Bella clears off to provide one PC a place to sit. Bella informs the PCs that her sister and her mother don't often have guests, blah, blah, blah. If the PCs have previously met Morgantha, Bella is delighted. Doesn't discuss the content of the pies unless specifically asked, and admits it's a family secret passed down from her mother, and asks the PCs not to inquire further. Bella is aware that Morgantha's unusual excuse for her fiendish aura, that Morgantha's mother had a bad encounter with a witch, and appears sad when she tells PCs that Morgantha doesn't like to talk about her grandmother's misfortune. If the PCs bring up the deed to the windmill, she looks devastated. She tells the PCs the windmill was abandoned for centuries before her grandmother came to live here, and asks the PCs if they plan to shamefully evict 3 old women from their home. Otherwise, Bella does her best to keep the conversation about the PCs. She asks them where they're headed, where they're from, how they're handling Barovia. Seems pretty nice, honestly. Let's see. Alright, if the PCs offer, or if Bella offers them a pastry, a were-raven outside hops onto the windowsill and calls loudly in warning. Bella closes the shutters and asks the PCs to shut the other windows. If they don't obey, the raven hops to the window closest to one of the PCs and attempts to get her attention. An instant later, she throws a kitchen knife at the raven's chest, attempts to use her intelligent sleight of hand to conceal the magic missile spell she is casting around the knife. Oh, that's kind of cool. Whether the knife hits or misses, the were-raven is wounded in the side by the magic missile and soon flies off. Bella attempts to play down the incident by claiming that the ravens have been terrible bothers to her and her sister ever since a falling tree destroyed their only scarecrow. She informs the PCs that the ravens frequently fly inside to eat their pies, defecate on their floor, or attack their mother's hairpiece. If the PCs notice and point out her use of magic, she claims to be a simple woods witch who has grown used to using her small arcane talent to keep her home clean and safe. If the PCs are able to rescue Freak and Myrtle, the children are going to be taken to Father Lucian Petrovich in Valakai or Burgomaster Dmitry Kreskov in Kresik. The PCs attempt to rescue Freak and Myrtle and fail to find the children while visiting. Only Freak is still alive when they return. If the PCs burn down or otherwise destroy the windmill without rescuing the children aside, oh no, they can later find a pair of child-sized corpses, charred and otherwise killed in cages within the wreckage. The cages have been ravaged by fingernails as the children tried to claw their way out while burning alive, and the PCs can clearly hear Freak and Myrtle's screams as the windmill is destroyed. If the PCs rescue Freak and Myrtle from the windmill, you may choose to award a milestone and allow the characters to level up. I like that they tell me when to do a milestone. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Domed attic, small collection of twig dolls and fetishes are kept up here. If one of the 3 treasures is here, this is where you'll find it. Forest Fane, I'm not ready to go down that route. After the battle, fights with Morgantha and her daughters are more often the beginning of a story than the end of one. If the PCs drive the hags away from Old Bone Grinder, any survivors of the Coven will haunt the parties from the ethereal plane, pushing them towards the brink of corruption so that they will be driven to commit evil and become tasty meals for the soul bag. If one or more hags is killed in the fight, the survivors instead focus on achieving vengeance against the PCs. They pursue the PCs at any cost, haunting them with nightmares, and step in to finish the job whenever the party appears weak or outnumbered. If the PCs are able to flee from the battle, the hags let them go. However, if any one of the PCs appears to have been neutral or evil, Bella or Ophalia attempts to scry on them for several nights, focuses on one PC, and starts to use nightmare hunting in order to corrupt them all the way. Any haunted PC should be unaware of the source of their nightmares. Only Rudolph Van Richten or Esmeralda, because they're the first and second best in the whole game, can recognize the symptoms of potential night hag haunting. Van Richten, Esmeralda, and the Abbot are the only creatures able to drive off the hags through the benefits of a magic circle spell. The hags are also unable to enter the Church of St. Andrel. If one or more of the PCs is knocked unconscious or taken prisoner by the Coven, the hags keep them tied up alongside the children on the 3rd floor. Bella and Ophalia torment their prisoners by murdering and devouring Freak in plain view and promise the PCs that they will plan to fatten the characters up so they can serve as supper themselves. Morgantha will make a deal to allow one of the PCs to go free, but only at the cost of one high-value or multiple low-value deals as described in the section above. A captured PC that accepts a deal in this way is made into a volunteer that they put to work. The PC's gear, arcane focus, and any weapons are taken and locked away. The volunteer is then tasked with selling pies or retrieving children. As long as any of the PCs remains a prisoner or volunteers at Old Bone Grinder, the hags torment them nightly with their nightmare ability. Oh my god. If Irenia is with the PCs, the hags place her unconscious using sleep and proceed to abandon her unconscious at the bridge to Castle Ravenloft. Oh my god. Irenia is narrowly saved from Rahadin's notice by a pair of helpful were-ravens who escort her to Valakai. If the PCs are still imprisoned in the windmill following day, Irenia persuades Erwin Mardukov to allow her to lead Muriel and Guswin, two members of the Order of the Feather, to the PC's rescue. The were-ravens wait until Morgantha has taken her cart down the road to Barovia and attempt to chew through the ropes, keeping the PCs tied up. Bella and Ophalia target Guswin first in their efforts to recapture the PC. If he is killed, this sours the relationship between the PCs and the Keepers of the Feather. Holy shit. If any of the PCs die in battle with the hags, Morgantha leaves their bodies between the megaliths behind the mill to be eaten by crows. Any PCs killed this way before level 5 should have an opportunity to be resurrected with a dark gift. If the PCs have piqued Strahd's interest to the point where he views one or more of their party as potential successor, the hags put the party to sleep and proceed to load them into Strahd's black carriage, which carries the PCs to Castle Ravenloft before dumping them in the courtyard. The PCs must succeed in a skill challenge to evade a pair of hungry vampire spawn crawling from the upper towers and cross the other side of the chasm before the drawbridge is completely raised. Holy shit! Whoo! Whew. Alright, that's a lot, but I'm glad I read it. Alright, I have to go get something to eat. I will be back at 8. Odyssey will be streaming the game tonight if you want to watch it live. Otherwise, the VOD will go live on Monday. Whew. No, nothing going on tomorrow night. Well, for me, Orpheus is running his Rime of the Frostmaiden tomorrow night. Lexaeus is going to be streaming it. Saturday morning, Lexaeus is going to be streaming Red-Handed Doom, which I'll be running. Sunday morning, Lexaeus is going to be streaming Curse of Strahd Daybreak, which I'll be running. We'll be doing some prep that morning. And then Sunday night, we'll be doing Mythic Odyssey. Monday night, super dramatic, Cliffhanger. Last time we played Odyssey Prime, so we're going to continue that. And then Tuesday, hopefully nothing. Oh, wait. Next Tuesday is when Cyberpunk with Dom starts. So if you're interested in Cyberpunk, that starts next Tuesday. And then next Wednesday, we'll be back here. All right. I'm going to grab something to eat. I hope everybody has a great evening. I'll see you next time.